Hello, my name is Jacquez Johnson, and I'm about to be completing assignment 5 of Intro to Human Service. I'll be talking about how the power of language is powerful, that is so powerful that might put fear in most Americans and how it oppresses in today's society. Now I'll be answering the following answers from 4 questions. Number one, how might language and American culture oppress certain groups? Well, mostly language, again, is universal. And most like the majority of the group is mostly Caucasian. They mostly learn like so much language. Like, take for instance, in the United States, we learn the King's English, even though we cannot speak the King's English perfectly. But we but it's mandatory in American. While most people from other groups, like from Hispanics, they speak Spanish. For Asian, they speak Chinese, Japanese, or Korean. And more Africans, Africans, they speak in multiple different languages. And for African Americans, they do speak English, but it's more like how they speak and how they talk. Like, it mostly, when we come to America, it most like Garu, you have to speak the King's English in schools, in jobs. So it really trying to suppress you of not speaking your native tongue and being your actual self, trying to hide your religion and culture and disguise yourself in this American image. And most Americans want you to believe if you want to fit into that society. Question 2. Can you identify any policy or laws that might affect the family's non-dominant group? Most laws really came from schools, like I said, schools, jobs, and mostly anywhere. Because I know from schools, if you speak in Spanish all your life on your friends, that actually will be discriminated towards you because you speak like in your first language. Because like I actually saw news of one woman being fired from a Caucasian manager from speaking her language because she don't know how to speak English properly. And then they fired the Hispanic worker, and then late minutes later they fired the manager and give reparations for the family. And really popular of it how they can be rude and hostile toward you, saying, "Go back to your original country. You don't belong here. You don't speak the King English." Because in all truth, they just mad at the person because they get able to speak a different language that they don't know understand. Because some people in this world can be totally racist if they speak their own language because they think, oh, they're terrorists. We don't know what they are doing, or they don't know they might hurt us because they want us to speak a new language because it will make them feel a whole lot safe. Just like back during the Jim Crow era, where even our ancestors, Native Africans, that took us to here in America and be slaves, they strip us from our language, which we do have our own language that we can speak, but they strip us away from that. So they really trying to make all of us that going to America that speak like the dominant English, which is English. Question 3. Which language do you use that might society oppress others? For me, I really just speak English for right now, but I usually trying to learn two additional languages, which is Spanish and Japanese. And I'm mostly speaking a little bit of Japanese right now because the more language you learn, the more you actually grow and actually improve. But for me, as an African American male, I speak in a different way. I mostly speak while I'm mostly in the suburbs or the urban community. So if I speak like while I'm like on the streets or something, that I usually speak a little bit wrong or speak using my slurs is a little bit off because I'm also disabled already. So mostly as a disabled person, I usually cannot get my vocabulary right or speak correctly. So it's really a person of people don't understand me or think I'm slow because of that faults or just because of my flaw, and that really is likely to happen to me. And last question, question 4. Do you believe that individuals from non-dominant groups sometimes buy into the very oppressive language of dominant groups? Example, an anti-gay individual who had bought into anti-gay rhetoric that suddenly realized he is gay. That usually really happens to most a lot of people. That the oppressor forced us to be something that we're not. So, as an example, if you are like anti-Trump and go to a Trump rally trying to make you convert you to like Donald Trump, that is really something happened, and that is really like a terrible thing. Like if I went into like a rally, like for me, I have autism. If I went to a rally and said nothing's wrong with me, it's just autistic people are just faking it, and that is really happening to a lot of people. So I say it's really American trying to force that into to trying to buy into the oppressor ways. Like if someone that is non-racist don't have a hatred to any other group of people, but another friend of theirs might be and trying to make them go into that ideology, that usually is gonna happen. So that is really something happening in American society, what we call like the land of the free, but it really ain't not at all. If they trying to force people being something they're not, and that's all the 4 questions how the power of language do happen in family development and happen in today's society. And I hope this will find you well. Thank you.